Hello. I've decided to give myself a little break from Elden Ring and play some MtG Solo for a change. We have been exploring our commander decks from Midnight Hunt / Crimson Vow. We're also going to get Bloomborough because it's just darling. And I've also finished my cube, so I am going to talk about my 3 cubes that I've made. One is basically the Kamigawa kind of / Eastern set, one is vintage, and then one is midnight, one is Innistrad really. So I have no idea what's in here. Again, it's a lot like or it's from the same cycle as the Hydra and the Minotaur set. So this one's called Journey into Nyx. Or Nyx actually, and again we have a Greek, ancient Greece themed backdrop, and it's from the Theros cycle. Like I said, there is a third one, Hydra, with which you normally start, but I don't have that one, and I couldn't even find any offers for it, so I just don't think it can be found these days. So let's see. I have no idea. And for the other one, I got a quick video from 10 years ago which explained how the game was played. I don't have anything like it for this, but as far as I can tell, it comes with a playmat and with the rules, and it's okay. Well, first of all, beautiful picture. Again, Journey into Nyx. Xenagos has thrown all of Theros into disarray with his ascension to godhood. His euphoric revels threaten to plunge the plane into chaos. There's only one way to silence this revel once and for all: isolate Xenagos and vanquish him. The party starts small with only Xenagos and a few of his revelers, but that relative calm will not last for long. More and more revelers will join as the battle continues. They are violently erratic, attacking without warning one moment and pausing to celebrate the next. Xenagos will even attack you directly when the mood strikes him. As long as the revel continues and revelers surround him, he is untouchable, but a god who loses all his followers is vulnerable. Is your destiny a heroic victory or death at the hands of the divine? Xenagos awaits. The Defeat a God challenge uses the regular magic rules with the following exceptions. Special rules for the player. You start with up to 3 different hero cards on the battlefield. You don't need a hero to play. You attack Xenagos Ascended and his revelers directly with your creatures. You may target Xenagos as though he were a player. Special rules for Xenagos. Xenagos Ascended and 2 cards named Rollicking Throng begin the game on the battlefield. So we will have to find them. Okay, so this is Xenagos Ascended and Rollicking Throng twice. And of course, you know, even the way he looks, he's modeled after Dionysus, or Dionysus, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Shuffle the rest of Xenagos' deck to begin the game. At the beginning, okay, so we're going to shuffle first. At the beginning, so it's 60 cards in total. And we've removed 3 of them. So at the beginning of Xenagos' first main phase, each turn reveal the top 2 cards of Xenagos' library. Then Xenagos casts those cards. Xenagos Ascended and Reveler creatures don't attack unless a card specifically says so. You make the choice if Xenagos needs to make a decision. Ignore effects that would cause Xenagos to draw or discard cards or perform any other impossible actions. If one of Xenagos' permanents would move to any zone other than his library or graveyard, that card puts it into Xenagos' graveyard. So if I had a card that says they take it back into their hands, the opponent player, then that wouldn't work. Okay, so You win the game if Xenagos leaves the battlefield, which can happen only if there are no revelers on the battlefield. You lose the game if you have 0 or less life, or if you have to draw a card and your library is empty. Now I have not made any changes to my deck, so if you have watched my Minotaur playthrough, then it's still the same deck, and we will see how we fare. Okay, so this time around it's not like we get to attack 3 times first, or we get 3 rounds, but we start immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here. So we're going to make this the battlefield, and we have Xenagos Ascended and the Rollicking Throng. This is his library. We're going to take 3 heroes. And we draw 1, 2, 3 completely randomly, and it is the Slayer. You start your game with an additional 7 life. The Harvester, you can exhaust this card or tap it and then draw a card and discard a card, and you get the Hero. You can tap it. A target creature you control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. So we're going to put them over here. So first of all, we're going to tap the, we don't need to, but we're going to tap the 7 life one. So it means we have 27 life. So here we've got the 20 and the 7, 27. And now, let's shuffle our deck. Okay, so let's read the cards. Xenagos Ascended can't leave the battlefield as long as a Reveler is on the battlefield. So this is a human Reveler, 1/3. When Rollicking Throng enters the battlefield, reveal the top card of Xenagos' library, and Xenagos casts that card. This ability doesn't trigger as the game begins. Okay, so these 2 simply stay here, so nothing happens, and they are 1/3. They don't attack. Okay. So I'm going to draw 7 cards. Okay, so and I'm going to start. I'm going to play a land. And can you attack him? I'm gonna play Striking Sliver, and then it's over to Xenagos. They don't attack; they just sit there. So we draw 1 card. The top 2 cards, and it's a Serpent Dances, Death Touch, Hero's Reward, okay, and Ecstatic Piper, creature, satyr, reveler. So they're all revelers. When Ecstatic Piper enters the battlefield, Xenagos Ascended attacks this turn if able. He is, and he does, and I will block him. He doesn't have trample, does he? No. So this goes away, and it's my turn. And I'm going to play another land. And I'm going to play Wild Slash. And this means I get to take out one creature, and we're going to take out, for 2 damage, we're going to take out, when the ecstatic piper, and when he leaves the battlefield, each player gains 2 life. So I'm going to go up to 9. And then it's Xenagos. He draws 2 cards. Ecstatic piper again. And sorcery. Impulsive destruction. Each player may sacrifice an artifact or enchantment. Impulsive destruction deals 3 damage to each player who didn't. Well, I don't have anything that I could sacrifice, so I'm now down to 26, and it's my turn. Okay, so I understand how this works. He's just going to flood the... okay, we're going to play a land. And we're going to play... Searing Spear for 2, one of which is red, and it deals 3 damage to a... No, we're actually going to use this. No, we can't. So we're going to deal 3 damage to this, and it goes away. And it's Xenagos. He draws 2 cards. Xenagos' Scorn. Sorcery. Xenagos Ascended gains Trample until the end of turn and attacks this turn if able. Okay. And Serpent Dancers. Okay, so they are just basically reveling. So he's going to attack for 6. And I take 6 damage. So now I'm down to 20. It's now my turn. Draw a card, play a land, play Mage, Ring Bully for 1 red and 1 blue in this case. And he attacks each turn if able. Okay, then that's me. Then it's Xenagos. Whenever a Reveler attacks, Dance of Flame deals 1 damage to a player. So that's an enchantment which stays. Xenagos Strike deals 4 damage to each player. So we just take 4 damage. We're now at 16. Okay. Okay, then it's our turn. We draw a card, we play a land, and it's Twin Bolt. And we're going to play Twin Bolt for 1 red and 1 of many colors, and we attack this Reveler. And it means that he leaves because it does 2 damage and we gain 2 life. And I just cast a non-creature spell, which means this guy gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. He attacks each turn if able. We're going to tap the hunter, so he comes up to +2/+2. So he does 4 damage, and we're going to okay. She has Death Touch. Still, we would draw a card. So she goes, but he goes as well because she has Death Touch. We draw a card, okay, and then it's Xenagos. Oh, and when they attack. Sorcery. At the beginning of combat this turn, all revelers gain haste until end of turn and attack this combat if able. Terrible. When Ferres banned reveler leaves the battlefield, each player draws a card. Okay, so now we have a problem because we have all revelers attacking. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, first of all, we take 3 damage because 3 revelers attack us. That's the enchantment. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 7 that we take in addition, so that's 8. And that's it. And now it's our turn. We draw a card. Now we really have a problem because we only have lands. Yeah, okay, so we're going to draw 2 cards. At the beginning of combat, okay, they will all attack, and we have another Reveler. Okay, so we take 1, 2, 3, 4 off the bat, and we are dead because we take 2, 6, 8, 9 points of damage. Okay, so essentially the last fight against the Minotaur was really trying to deal damage by making cards disappear from the graveyard, from the hand, so basically, or from the deck, really just getting to discard, discard, discard. Now it's different. We don't really need to talk about the discard pile and the draw deck. We need to talk about putting out creatures to block. So this deck will have to be redone. Obviously, because now the challenge is different. So we really need lots and lots of cheap creatures that we can put out there to just keep blocking. We can have a couple of negate spells in there, but essentially this is going to be creature driven because he's going to flood the field with creatures, whereas in the other game we have 3 turns at the beginning where we can attack, where the deck isn't playing, but we're trying to diminish the deck and get rid of cards. Of course, you could get rid of cards here as well, which would make it possible, but he does not lose if he can't draw. Xenagos, even if he can't draw from the library because there are no cards left, is still there, and he has life. He has 6. So we will have to adjust our deck, which is great because that's really what this is about. These solo games are really good if you want to learn how cards in MTG work. A lot of people say, well, you know, you can't really play these games solo. I disagree. If you've got a good challenge deck, then everything is possible. And it just gives you, especially if you're a new player and have access to, let's say, a sizable pool of cards, an idea of what you could do, how you can try and beat this challenge. Once you understand what the challenge is, you just go back to your drawing board and you just basically then decide, okay, this is how I'm going to try and face that challenge. And it gives you a good insight also into some of the mechanics, not all of them, but some of them. And it is a good way of learning how to play Magic the Gathering. So I hope you found this interesting. I am going to redo and restructure my deck. And once I've got a deck that I'm okay with or happy with, I am going to do another playthrough with a deck that I have managed to put together in such a way that I have been able to win at least 40% of the time. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we will be back with more Magic the Gathering solo.